Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 45. Should there be capital punishment? Well, Deuteronomy has something to say about it. So what happens when people kill other people? Now, because the Lord has created life, life has value, and it's above our pay grade to take life. It's the basic point. So 2 days ago, we learned about what the Lord called an abominable practice. That is when people, parents, take the lives of their own children. They sacrifice their own children. And today, when adults take each other's life, it's condemned for the same overarching reason, which is God has something to say about the taking of lives of humans. So what happens to people that intentionally and maliciously kill another person? In other words, if they murder them. The second issue is what happens if people unintentionally kill someone, like with a manslaughter situation or an accident. So today we're going to learn that the Lord invents this system called sanctuary cities where the innocents can take refuge, not that the guilty can hide there. This is all from Deuteronomy chapter 19, starting in verse 1. When the Lord your God cuts off the nations whose land the Lord your God is giving you, and you dispossess them and dwell in their cities and in their houses, you shall set apart 3 cities for yourselves in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. You shall measure the distances and divide into 3 parts the area of the land that the Lord your God gives you as a possession, so that any manslayer can flee to them. So in other words, the distances has to be of limited distance so he can get there first before the guy that's trying to unrighteously kill him. All right, verse 4. This is the provision for the manslayer, who by fleeing there may save his life. If anyone kills his neighbor unintentionally, without having hated him in the past, so it's not premeditated, as when, and here's the example he uses, when someone goes into the forest with his neighbors to cut wood, and his hand swings the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies, he may flee to one of these cities and live. Lest, why is there a sanctuary city? Lest the avenger of the blood in hot anger pursue the manslayer, so his brother or his father or something, overtake him, because the way is long, and strike him fatally, though the man did not deserve to die. He was innocent, since he had not hated his neighbor in the past. Therefore I command you, you shall set apart 3 cities, verse 10, lest innocent blood be shed in your land, that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance. And so the guilt of bloodshed be upon you as a society. Okay, then he's going to switch here, talk about real murder. But if anyone hates his neighbor and lies in wait for him and attacks him and strikes him fatally so that he dies, and he flees to one of those cities, so same city, but now there's a guilty person in hiding there, then the elders of his city shall take him from there, hand him over to the avenger of blood, the executioner, so that he may die. Your eye shall not pity him, but you shall purge the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, so that it may be well with you. Okay, so where can the manslayer flee? So if anyone unintentionally kills, so he uses the example of the guy in the forest with the axe. So manslaughter or unpremeditated, he was present at the death, but he wasn't responsible for the death. You don't want to kill that guy because it was an accident. Why? Well, then there's 2 people dead, and now we have a new guy who has shed innocent blood. So the problem just continues unless you nip it in the bud by inventing this system of sanctuary cities. So for the guy that does not deserve to die because of this accidental death or manslaughter, and someone is pursuing him, it makes things worse. So if you don't fix the system, it's society's fault. So the point is, leave the appropriate retribution and the punishment to the state, not to the family. Why? Verse 9, provided you're careful to keep all these commandments which I command you today by loving the Lord your God and walking ever in his ways. So regarding in capital punishment, we can love the Lord in a certain kind of way. We can love his commands, we can love his provisions, we can love his philosophy of creating life, and so we should value it. Now, if it's premeditated, so everything's different than if it's premeditated. The elder shall actually go get him and purge the avenger from among you, purge the guilt of the guy that has taken innocent blood. So here, the state is absolutely in charge of capital punishment. The avenging of blood is set up for the state to take care of. It's taken out of the individual's hand, but the state does it. And the purpose of the sanctuary city is for the innocent person. The sanctuary city is not that the guilty can take refuge there and hide there. So why is murder bad? Just step back for a second. Well, it's because the Lord makes life, and the volitional taking of this life, one human to another, is above the pay grade of an individual. So it's probably best to think of it in two categories. One is murder, and the other is accidental manslaughter. So if it's murder and the person is guilty, then even the sanctuary city should have no sanctuary. If, however, they're innocent, then the sanctuary city is to protect that person truly. It's outside the purview of a wronged family member to take the life of the killer, but it is definitely within the purview of a wronged society to take the life of a killer. And one may even say, because of the inherent value of that life, that it is within the society's responsibility to take the life of a killer. So it is a society job to protect the innocent and to purge the guilty who's wrongly taken innocent blood. So if you've taken innocent blood and murdered, then your non-innocent blood should be taken by society, because then it prevents other wrongs from cascading and retributions of family members, etc. So should there be capital punishment? From a biblical standpoint, one can argue if the person is guilty, then yes. But if they're innocent and it's accidental, then that person is innocent, and there's actually a protection, a sanctuary city that's invented. So the purpose of a sanctuary city is that innocent may take refuge there, not that the guilty may hide there. So don't you just love how practical the book of Deuteronomy is? Thanks for listening.